You said one of the best things about these last few months is spending time with your kids.
Yeah.
You have 3.
So I had my twins, and then
Were you back in Uganda when you had your twins?
yes, yes. I left that job and came back to get married
Okay.
and start a family. Yeah, so that's a story for another day. It's making decisions and choices, but I really think there's an important lesson in terms of, sorry to drift back a little, in terms of, because when I was working there, I used to live in a glass house at an ocean.
Okay.
You know, and I was driving a Jeep Cherokee, and did I tell you I was like 26? Like, I had it well, like respect, you know, you're on top of things. I was sitting on management, and I was like, what just happened? I went to act and they offered me the job. It was like, great, but I made a choice. I reflected, I thought to myself, okay, if I take a job here 2 years, I work here, am I willing to get married to, for instance, you know, it's a Muslim country and so on. And, you know, I thought and reflected, and I decided I'm going home.
Okay.
And I go, going back to the children. So I keep, and I brought that story because I keep saying that, you know, of course, children to a mother are the best thing that ever happened to our life. And so came back, had the twins. And then like 9 months later, I got pregnant. So I had the one who comes after the twins. And so they are growing up like at the same level.
Wow.
And it has been crazy. I mean, so crazy. It's crazy enough that you have 2 kids and you don't have a mother or a strong support system, because I didn't have a sister, I didn't have a mother. Yeah. I have my half siblings, but when we were growing up, right now I'm very close with some of them, but we're not that close. And then they were all much bigger, so they also already had their lives living out. I weren't that close growing up, really. So I could safely say I was on my own.
You were struggling.
And I firstborns, 2 kids, a boy and a girl. I mean, like, I had to wake up and become a new something. I think every phase in my life has made me evolve into another person, but at a higher level. Because parenting twins is a story on its own.
I think so.
It was mad.
And then you have another little one.
I know, right?
So like you're literally breastfeeding and you still have babies.
And I didn't even mention, on top of it, one of them was always sickly. So I was always in hospital. And I had to work. And then when I had the baby, I would have to go to work, go home breastfeed, run to hospital, come back.
When you think about it now, you're like madness.
Absolute crazy madness. But that mothering experience is a long story that you don't even want to get into.
Did you have support at least from your husband?
Yes, yes, he's a good father. Like, that's the best thing about him. He's like hands-on, like loves children, will do anything, he'll bend backwards for them. Yeah, thank God for that. Thank God. I don't know what I would have done. I mean, their father is very, very supportive. Okay. Yes, and that really helped. But I'm telling you, Crystal, you don't want to get into that story. It's really a long story. But they've all grown up. The twins are 12, and the one after them currently is 10, but there will be a time he's 11 and they're still 12. And then, so yeah, I'm going to get candidates soon. And
yes, in P7.
Yes,
wow.
So it's a blessing. It's been a challenge and many lessons learned along the way. But here we are. And they keep saying that the last one, Ricky, is the twin to Nakato, because he's tall. He's tall and big. When I walk with them 3, everybody just says, those are not your kids.
Why? Because you're tiny.
No, they're really also really tall. They are very tall. My daughter is like all the way here.
Oh.
Yeah, we were fighting about pants the other day. You know, I was wearing these pants, running in them and thinking they fit the best. You know, they are my best running trousers. And then she goes like, no, they are mine. I'm like, no, you are kidding. They are mine. So we're like, she's like, no, Papa bought them for me. They are mine. I'm like, no, I've been running in this for months. They are mine.
You're fighting over pants. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're already at that phase. I can't even believe it.
You shared a picture recently.
Yes.
And I remember looking at the picture and saying, wow. And you were clearly like, you know, if you've had babies, you know what they do to you before, during pregnancy, or after. Sometimes, I mean, after my son, I put on so much weight. I remember I really struggled to lose that weight. And then you shared a picture recently, and I just, mom to mom, I felt it. Because you were like, it didn't even look like you.
I had it really rough. Actually, every time I see a pregnant woman, I have to say something. I will give them a compliment. If not, I will make fun of them. And you best believe if I find you pregnant, I have to make fun of you. I just can't help myself. You know, and luckily I'm a Nalongo, so they say you can say anything and anytime.
Apparently.
I have got to say something because it's such an awesome experience, but a very challenging experience for us women. And it's sad that some women have to go through it alone because they abandoned, or, you know, the circumstances under which they get pregnant. But I'm telling you, that experience was it's also a story on its own, because let me tell you,
that picture told me you had a rough time.
The twins, imagine they were my first children.
Yeah.
And then my first pregnancy, and then I grew so big, so big. It was insane. By the time I entered the delivery room when I was like 88 kilos. By the time I got out, I'd lost 16 kilos in the process, because they were also not small. One was 3.2 and another one was 3.1 kilos. But the interesting thing is, I carried them up to 42 weeks. First time mom. You
kind of just waiting,
so
you're waiting, and they're getting bigger.
They told me they should come out at like 35 weeks. Twins don't take long. But mine, they were not budging at all. And I had decided that, I don't know, I had this belief that for me to feel like a complete woman, I have to push. So I felt like it's my duty to go in that delivery ward and push so that I become a mother, and I know that I birthed these children and they are my children, and I hustled so that
where do we get this nonsense from? Because a C-section is even harder, the healing after with the babies. But anyway,
so I don't know why I had this conviction, so I did everything that Baganda women do to make sure that I am ready for that pushing of the twins. But my dear, it wasn't meant to be. I waited. I remember I turned black. I was darker than this jacket. You said you saw my photos. I was just like fried, like totally fried, boiled, fried, everything. I reached and I would walk. Can you believe that I walked? I went to work throughout the 42 weeks. And then I never took a lift, and I sit on the 8th floor. So every day I walked up the staircase to 8th floor and down. Now at 41 weeks, the stomach was like ahead, and I'm going down the stairs. Everybody who would see me would just go like screaming out of my way. Everybody was saying, Cynthia, you need to go. You need to take leave. You need to go home. Boss, that time my boss was Herbert Zake. So he used to say, Cynthia, I'm calling security. Don't come back here. Don't come back. I said I will come back until I'm told that it's time to deliver. Herbert will say, I'm not even talking to you. I'm not even giving you any work. So you deal with your issues on your own. If you want to come, you come and you do your things. But you and I, we have parted ways. I'm not giving a woman who looks like you any work. But I continued going to work. Until I delivered, and that was also an experience on its own. Actually, back then, my husband had to put me in the car. I think he was giving advice that over when this woman is not giving birth, over you need to bump them in potholes or something.
Yes.
There was, because I remember he took me as like, he was driving that slowly, but somehow, anyway, every bump over feels like it's too much.
Like your blood does.
Everything is just like, bah, bah. And guess what? I was so determined when I used to shower every morning. I used to leave a bucket of water outside in the cold.
Previously on Crystal One-on-One. Isabel Kesime, most people call her Bella.
Honestly, was never going out of school to do bad things. Yeah,
So what were you going to do?
going to see my mom till I'm broke. So anyway, I mean, you know, the parents, you're at home, they're not talking to you. What? You stay in your room until you hear they've left. That's when you come out. And yeah, for a while, I figured maybe I better find a job as...
Started thinking about getting a job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got pregnant.
So you had twins. I'm sure that, I mean, as much as you wanted them, it's still a shock to find out. But you had the support of your family.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I was the one that was excited. You have two little human beings that, you know, expect you to be there day and night. Yeah. So it was kind of hard adjusting to all that. Yeah.
Cold.
Okay.
And I would wake up at 6 and I would shower that water for 9 months. 42 weeks is more than 9 months.
What was the reason for this?
Because I wanted my children to be strong and healthy and vibrant. You know, when you pour cold water on yourself when you're pregnant at 6 a.m., what happens?
But the children are inside, in a warm place, inside your body.
Are you kidding me? The children feel, my goodness, they would jump up, they would kick, they would be so active. It was insane.
Oh.
I mean, like, it was, I don't know who gave me that advice. You know, you get a lot of advice when you're pregnant. But that's what I used to do all through. Because I wanted them to be active and not just sleep and then be there. So I was just doing all sorts of things. I used to eat an avocado every day. Because apparently someone told me that to have good skin, if you eat avocado and tomatoes, the kids will come out with very good skin. Every day for 9 months. Now, my daughter cannot even eat any avocado. Like, she cannot. She even throws up. And I'm thinking, I think I know where that's coming.
You overdid it. That's so crazy.
I know, right?
When you look back, you're like,
I did so many
who planted
crazy
these things in my head anyway?
I did so many crazy things in that process to make sure that I had healthy twins, because I'd been warned that most of them come out premature. And I didn't want to have that experience. I wanted them to grow out and then have... So I ended up having a C-section. But guess what? Even at the last minute, I was refusing to have a C-section until the waters broke. And they called my husband and said, this woman, she's going to die with her twins if she doesn't sign up to go in theater.
So he signed?
Yeah. And they wheeled me off, and that's how I managed to get a C-section.
That also tells me that you're quite stubborn. But also, all this we've been listening to tells us you can be quite stubborn as well.
I can be very strong-headed.
If you know what you want.
Yeah. If I believe in what I'm doing, if I believe what I'm doing is right. I'm very open-minded. I love suggestions. I like picking people's brains. In fact, I love picking people's brains so much that half the time I'm always asking like 1,000,001 questions. Because I'm thinking, how do they think? What do they think? What's going on in that head? Why are they quiet? But yeah, when I reach a conclusion and I think a certain position is right, I can be strong-headed to be turned around. That's the truth.
All right. That was so funny. So as we wrap up, you said you like to do a lot of mentoring. I've seen you on a lot of mentoring programs, speaking to young people, speaking especially to young women. I mean, what's your advice when you look at your journey? You've talked about living an authentic life, which I think we all should.
Yes.
If we can.
Yes.
If we can, we all should. But what's your advice? What have you learned along the way?
Well, I learned that in this world, while people are important, our networks are important, and it's not even about how hard we work. And while it's not true that it's about who you know only, it's a mixture. It's a balancing act. But it's so important for us to have networks. But while I preach networks and I say who you know matters a lot, there's something that I started questioning recently when I said that it's important to also question the value of that network. It's good that you have all these people that you know and they can do something, but how valuable is that network to you as a person? And I things like me running to fundraise help me assess things like that. You know, like recently, the other day, I put out a call on my Facebook page and I said, guys, I'm fundraising. And we went to Missionaries of the Poor to help the kids. And I think I got like 5 million in 1 week. You know what I mean? It's not even that one person. I have all these young people, even someone without a job, who keeps saying, you know, I don't have a job, I don't have any money, but I really want to help. They send you 5,000 mobile money, and I'll take it because it's important for that person to continue having that heart. That is not about how much you have, but however little, whatever it is that you have, you can still make your own impact, even if you don't have any monetary money. But whatever contribution, everybody has something they can do to make this world a better place. So really, the advice I have for most young people is to keep it real. It's so important for people to keep it real and not go with the Jonases in terms of everybody's doing this. This is what girls do these days. Everyone is slaying, so I slay, you know, at every cost. And just self-discover, know who you are, and accept yourself first before the world will accept you, because the world will just take you for what you show them. And it's more important for people to not love you or hate you for who you are than to love you for the fake that you are creating. And you can't sustain that. And who wants to live such a life? Who wants to go through life pretending every night you have to remove like 10 items, fake butt, fake hips? You know, let someone, you know, it's okay to make your choices. But I think it's more relieving and more important for you to give yourself that gift of self-love and, you know, acceptance, because you struggle to find people who accept you, you know. People will judge you all the time. People will tell you off. They'll put you down. But if you don't accept yourself and you can't even extend that gift to yourself, how will anybody else? I mean, you're going to really have it rough in this world.
Where will you be?
So that knowing yourself and being true to yourself and extending, knowing the true source of happiness, and it's not even in how much money anyone will ever have. And it's a very hard message to give out when someone is unemployed or they don't have work and so on. Everyone knows that, you know, it's important to have money, and it is. I'm not even questioning that. But when then you have the money, you realize it's not the most important thing. And the most important thing was already in the basic things that you had access to. You know, being kind, loving someone else, extending a helping hand, pulling someone up when they are down. It's the basic humanity things that really fulfill us as human beings. The money is great because you look good, you dress nice clothes, you're accepted by people. But when, at the end of it all, when you lie down and you're dying on your deathbed, what really counts is how much time and how much effort you put into living a good life, a meaningful life. Because nobody actually dies with any of the property and the money.
You don't take it with you.
They do not, no matter how much you have. You go bare hands and everybody will say goodbye, and that's it. So what counts? So I keep telling my friends that every time I'm going through a situation, I ask myself, how important will that situation be after 5 years? Is it so critical that is it transforming my life so critically that in 5 years I'll be different as a result of someone making me angry or saying some unpleasant words to me? I don't think so. So if it won't matter, even 5 years is a long shot. If it won't matter in 2 months, it doesn't matter. Don't dwell on it, you know. And you know, I could say many things, but I think everybody needs to find their space in this world. And also, more importantly, and my last comment, Crystal, is that there is enough room in the world for all of us. There is. Don't slaughter, don't kill, don't mime, don't destroy someone else as you in your quest to live your own good life. Everybody, there is enough room for each one of us. Support the next person, pull them up. There is room for you. And if you cut them off or cut them down, their opportunities and their luck and their destiny doesn't become yours. So you still remain walking your path, even if you kill this person or destroy their future, destroy their family or whatever, you still walk your path. Yeah, what? Okay, so I badmouth you, I get you sacked off your job, then I take it, and then your life will become mine? Not exactly. So for me, I really believe that we owe it to each other to help each other, lift each other up, and understand that we can all thrive in our own spaces.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing. Even the funny, quirky things about yourself. We all have stories.
I know, right? We all do.
And best of luck to you and your candidates.
Oh yes, thank you very much.